First of all, I would like to give some space to have two of you introduce yourself and also the company that you work for.
Hello, mic test, mic test. Hi, I'm Claudiu from Questo. We are building a platform for city exploration games. Basically, we encourage people to discover places, meet people, spend quality time in the real world. And I'm the CEO and co-founder of the company.
Hello to everyone. My name is Victor. I represent GemsAround. And together with my team, we try to help you create personalized itineraries and discover what's around you with just a couple of swipes.
I heard, again, a round of applause, please. I heard the common scene here that Questo is trying to help people to explore the city, and GemsAround is trying to help people explore what they want to do within the trips, right? Oh, it's actually quite fitting to the presentation I had on the travel planning. Sorry, I bashed a little bit on travel planning startup, but I'm lucky to see we have more people solving the problem, and I think this is a great problem to solve still. So maybe I can start with Claudiu. So we talk about having the right problem to solve, and we see many travel startups, not just in the trip planning side, and in many other domains in travel that people are solving the kind of a not actual problem, non-exist problem. They even invent themselves to solve. So can you tell me, why do you think Questo, maybe tell the audience a little bit more about what Questo is doing?
Okay, so basically we offer people city games. We call them Quest. You start from a place, you follow riddles, solve challenges, learn new things about the cities. And it's a way that gives you the chance to discover the city on your own pace. Basically, you don't have the urge to checklist all the things. You'll have a combination of well-known places and hidden gems. You'll have content curated by locals because all our games are created by locals. You'll have the chance to play in your language if it's one of the top 7 most used language in the world, and so on. And we've learned from our players and from our customers the fact that they love a few things. And this is very important when you want to build products. You want to understand first why the people love your product, not why do you think you produce impact in their people's lives. Right. So our players, they love Questo because they can do it anytime during the day or the night, first. Second, they can pause the activity. So imagine you stay late night in the later on party today, and at 8 a.m. you'll have a tour programmed. You'll miss the tour. But with Questo, not a problem. You can go wherever you want. Cool. You are on the route with your family, with your kids, and they want ice cream. Okay, you pause the experience, take the ice cream, take some selfies, right, and so on. So the flexibility is important. Accessibility is also important. Right. Having a price that it's fair for you and for your family, of course, and also privacy. Because when you're doing activities that gives you the sense you are doing on your own, you feel like an explorer in the city, you learn new things, you collect stories that you'll go home and talk to everyone about.
It's very personal, right?
Yeah, exactly. You'll feel personal.
So essentially, if you go to Questo, you can see multiple different, there's a called Quest, or like a gamified tool kind of routes that are pre-designed already. They can select from and feel free to do it anytime you want, like the flexibility you talk about, and curated by local exactly, residents, right? Exactly. So also there's introduce more about GemsAround, so our audience knows a bit more about the company. So we have context, yeah. Yeah,
definitely. So we are a community-powered platform, meaning that it's the content which you would see on the platform is powered by travelers, just like me and you. So with this tool, you are able to discover what's around you. You can select the category which interests you. Let's say that someone is more into history and art, while someone is more looking for the hidden gems. Well, these hidden gems are provided by the community, so you are seeing a short video in the format of reels, because nowadays we love with our eyes. It's more useful sometimes to get a clear understanding of what to expect from that place by just seeing a short reel rather than reading 2 pages. And then we are presenting these attractions and activities in a way that our customers they use, and in a way that they are used to perceive this information and to be inspired. So we're helping them with the discovery phase, because nowadays the information is all fragmented. You would find plenty of other platforms, and then you're losing precious time to solve the problem with like discovery phase, like selecting which places to go. But then logistics kicks in, because you have to think of which place should I go first, second, and third. So these are some of the challenges which they face. And for example, with GemsAround, we are able to address those challenges. We try to stay a little bit outside of the solutions which are being given at the moment. So if we talk about, for example, AI, which made the crucial impact into how people perceive, plan, and experience traveling, but we're not trying to give a one solution fits all. We let the customer discover it.
Exactly,
yes.
yeah.
Because everyone has different preferences. As I previously mentioned, maybe the way that I travel or Claudiu travels, it's quite different.
Yeah.
So yeah, we help them discover, but we just simplified the process of discovering these places. And then we are not giving one solution which would fit all. They are being given the option to choose which places they want, and then with our solution we sort of place them on the map and give them a route to follow.
Got it. So essentially, if I go to GemsAround, let's say I want to explore Chișinău, right?
Yes.
So I look at my location, and then there will be different things posted, just like a bit like a Google Map, but really filtered for travelers. And then if I can use, you spoke about Reels, so I can probably just go through the different videos that people posted, and then go through the things around me, and then so I can discover them with the videos like
easily.
that?
Yes, easily. And at the same time, you can be part of this community, because we're not just showing you videos, we're also encouraging you, because we would give all the credits to you, so you'd get more exposure for your social media profile in case you're into that. So you would get a recognition for your work, and you could show those places from your own perspective. So this is where the community part kicks in.
Awesome.
So yeah, you're just opening, you have an interactive map, so the more you zoom in, the more attractions appear, the more you zoom out. I mean, it's based on your range, it's based on your interests and available time, because we would also let you know, let's say that in this specific case, I know that we have people who came from abroad, and I would definitely encourage you to go on GemsAround.com. The tool is free of charge, and make sure, in case you have a couple of hours off after this conference, I'm sure that the colleagues from Startup Moldova took well care of you and made a full schedule. But in case you still find some hours, I would encourage you. And I would encourage you not to only stay in Chișinău, because Moldova has way more other attractions to offer besides Chișinău. So yeah, exactly. Coming back to the question.
Sounds great. I'm really glad that you are not taking, like I said, and you are not taking away what people love about exploration. You are actually empowering them to do it, right?
I mean, we are incorporating AI because we have to be, up to the expectations and to the way things are evolving. But we are not taking the fun part, because we still let the customer or like the client decide what he or she would like to discover.
Then let's go back to a bit of my initial question, saying, hey, there's so many travel companies are not solving the right problems at the moment, right? So let me switch gear to the Questo a bit. So back to my original question. So we have the fixed tool that people designed, and people can choose from. There are many different tools in gamified ways for each city, each location, right? So why do you think this is a problem for people to solve, for us to solve? Why do you think this is a problem for people, basically?
So imagine 1 in 2 people who travel don't book a tour or activity.
So they don't have a plan where to go, basically.
Don't have plan activities.
Right.
So just go to a city and they will be there, I will figure out there.
Right.
And there, they will just walk on the main streets looking for something. They don't have context, they don't have information, they don't know nothing, and they go back home. So this is one of the problems that we want to solve.
Right.
Making people going back home after they spend a quality time in that city. Going back home with stories, going back home feeling they done an adventure there. If you are in London, you can be Sherlock Holmes there. So, and if you are in, if you want, maybe you can catch the Jack the Ripper or things like that.
Right. Question. So they don't do. They say half of people don't have a planned route to go to when they just being random or being just find whatever you can find, right? So do you think why that happen? Because people don't have the information, or is it so difficult to do it?
There is a combination of multiple facts. Some of the activity are too expensive. Some of them don't offer flexibility. And these two are the main things. Other activities that are usually self-guided and gives you flexibility and their accessibility, they have so bad ratings. Like they are top...
Just generic.
They are top products with ratings around 1.2 in stores. So these are the main reasons, and all the studies from travel underline the same issues.
Let's do a quick check. So how many of you have fallen into a tourist trap when you travel abroad? Let's raise a hand. I did. Oh, not so many. Okay. Well, I fall into, maybe I'm terrible. I fall into many tourist traps myself and buying the like 3 times more expensive meal than actually supposed to be, for example. So.
Yeah, I was in the Vatican Museum. This was my first and only tourist trap because always I choose Questo. I was in the Vatican Museum. I stay in the line. I was with the tour guide. We spent 40 minutes in front of a small panel. Then we go through the walls. I basically levitated in the museum. I didn't touch the floor because it was too crowded. Then I finished the tour and start again with Questo. And we have chance to stop, enjoy, discover context, learn new things, learn stuff by myself. And I feel like not Indiana Jones, but close enough. You know.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Yeah. It was created by a local. So, yeah, it was really, really nice.
Yeah, I can imagine. And local knows the best, isn't it?
Exactly. Locals know the best. And when we have, at this moment, we have more than 1,000 games. And there is a lot of content, but also a lot of diversity. Because, you know, we, as a creators of the platforms, we just need to create the tools and let people express themselves there. Because if there is an audience for what you created, then you'll attract people, and people will leave ratings and so on, and will go up in the ratings.
Yeah. Victor, do you see the same problem that the Questo is seeing, that we have a difficulty to really discover the right things for the travelers? So what Questo is doing is to try to leverage the local wisdom and intelligence to help the travelers really find out the things they can do. So how are you trying to surface those in the GemsAround, for example?
I think same as my colleague mentioned. Locals, they always know better, and some places, I mean, the main attractions is easy to find on the internet, but then maybe you would like to go beyond that and get a real experience, get something authentic, and then that's when the locals can help you. We try to encourage them to go on the platform and post those places so that they get more known and that more people discover it through their own eyes, through their experiences, because we also encourage them to share tips, which, you know, sometimes might be useful. Besides the description of the place and, you know, the geo coordinates and stuff, you would still have a tip like, let's go there at, you know, 6 o'clock in the evening to find the best view spot in, for example, Barcelona, and enjoy the sunset, you know. So some things like that. I mean, we try to encourage them, and of course, they are the ones who are powering this platform. As I previously mentioned, it's not that we just have a collection, a generic one. It's those users who are providing those places and encouraging, and also spreading tourism around, which we also understood that there is a problem. For example, especially in Moldova, people, as I previously mentioned, go to Chișinău and they know nothing else besides that, but the country has so much more to offer. Even 1 hour drive away from here would bring some landscapes which would be breathtaking and would result in good memories, you know.
Yeah. And in my previous presentation, we also talked briefly about the difficulty of monetization, isn't it? Especially for startup in the travel. I mean, this is a general problem that most of the startup will face, need to solve one day, have a viable monetization model, business model to scale. So I remember Questo has a relatively interesting monetization model. So Claudiu, can you introduce a bit how do you monetize
Yeah. So there are a few things here. One, why it's hard to build startups in travel. One is the frequency of usage. So if we are looking at the, I don't know, usually average time to travel, they are like 2 times per year to vacations. Half of people doesn't book nothing. If you have a small basket is not accommodation or air flights or big important experiences, then you have an experience that you sold around $10, $20 or 2 times, yeah, basically you do $40 and then you have a lot of costs. Mm-hmm. So this is one of the challenges. Probably this is also one of the reasons that are not too many innovators in the space.
Right.
Regarding our business model, we are working with local creators. We have shared revenue with local creators, and they get a cut up to 75% of each game that is sold. Because it's very, very important for us to have the content. It's very important for us to see the creators. They will succeed. They will make money from the activity, and they will promote their local city and the local knowledge. But going forward, as you mentioned, so the monetization part doesn't stop at the traveler. So you are a traveler, you are here in Chișinău, but you'll go back home where you are living now in Amsterdam. So you are the same person.
Yes.
But you'll have different needs there.
Mm-hmm.
So in Amsterdam, what we try to offer you, or what we can offer you, because you will not like to go and do the highlights of Amsterdam, you know those.
Yes.
So how we want to convince you to go outside, offering you experiences, offering you games that are tailored for locals, offering you adventure, offering the same quality as a Questo standard, but making you rise up from the couch, meet your friends, go out, connect with them in the real world, and spend time, quality time with them.
Right.
Walk for 2 hours, take selfies, enjoy the time, be an explorer, be an adventurer, and add new memories to your life.
That's very interesting because...
And this is this is the way how we increase the frequency.
Sounds great, yeah. So basically, you're switching from a low frequency that we spoke about before. That the problem in travel right now, monetizing is the frequency is so low, right? So every time, even though we earn higher commission fee, whatever, but every year we earn it twice, it's not enough from one travelers, right? So what you're saying is basically you expanding from the traditional definition of the travelers. Like we travel 2-3 times a day, a week, a year, and then you expanding to the more audiences who are the local people, residents of the city, help them to explore. Because essentially, if we're going to museum, well, we also go to museum, local museum, because they have a rotation, for example, right?
Yeah.
We also book some, let's say, spa or whatever activities locally, because yeah, it's a city we live in. We also enjoy the service. It's not just the travelers. So you are saying you are expanding towards the local people, blurring the line between travel or not travel, that you can actually travel when you are
you can be a traveler in your city. Imagine
yeah.
a right museum, and each weekend you can steal a different paint from the museum. Don't steal, steal as a game.
So as a, as a picture.
Go and so you'll have a new adventure.
That's a very
weekly there.
Yeah, that's very.
And this is the way that we will plan to grow forward. This is the way how we want to become a habit for people.
Right. So essentially, you at least 10 times, 20 times easily the frequency, right?
Yeah. And then you go you become a local traveler, like in your domestic travel, how it's called in travel industry. You visit a different city. You go for a city break in, I don't know, in Rotterdam, and then we have a new mission, and so on.
Right. Cool.
The example which was mentioned here, for example, you living in Amsterdam, I used to live there as well in the past, and every time I go there is still something new for me to discover, something which I haven't paid attention for, you know. So it's always nice to, I don't know, even discover the same places which you already know, but for a different perspective.
100%, and we probably have, so many of you probably also see that, saw in the past that there were some startups trying to create local community, isn't it? Like create local share tips. Oh, I discovered this new restaurant being opened up in our city. Let's try it out. Oh, I discovered this new activities we can do, and I want to share with my neighbor. Oh, there's a question. I love this. Please. I do not. I am. A 100%, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can answer from my perspective. So,
Wait a second. Let me repeat the question to the audience because the gentleman doesn't have the mic. So what's your name, please? Sorry, William. Vadim. Okay. This gentleman was asking that we were talking about a lot on discovering new things for when you are traveling. But when we are traveling with kids, let's say with a family, things will be very different. There's very little flexibility we can have, right? We actually want to have safe, more stable kind of trips. So is there any kind of statistics between the difference between solo travelers or couple travel versus bringing a kids or even elderly, right? Family travel. And Claudiu?
Yeah, I think it's a valid point here. I can share insights from our usages. So 60% of people who use Questo are family with kids. We serve them, and I think for them the flexibility is very important. Accessibility, the confidence that if they play in Vienna and they play in Amsterdam, in Rotterdam, they will have a safe activity to choose. This is one. Also, the second audience are couples for us. So we are an activity for couple because we are a social activity. Everyone engage with the experience. The little ones, the kids, also they play it, they contribute, they feel adventurous. The couples the same. At the end of the activity, they will have a better connection between them. And a very small percentage, below 5%, are solo travelers. So depending what type of product you are building, then you address a need of an audience. I don't know exactly the numbers, how they are split it globally as a distribution, but you just need to understand what are their needs and deliver to their needs.
Why people select McDonald's in Barcelona, in Amsterdam, because they know it's standard of quality.
Exactly. This is the reason that people select Questo in Bucharest, London, New York, because they have the same standard quality of the activity. And here, you just need to tailor the experience for something that will be interesting for family with kids. We have an example in Rome. So we have a game there, it's Angels and Demons Adventure, and that game is for family with kids. We have also the Haunted Rome. No family with kids play the Haunted Rome.
I wonder why.
That game is played by couples, by friends, during the night, in the middle of the night, and so on. So the experience attracts the audience, and of course, you need to understand their specific audience and their needs, and deliver, of course, the same quality standard everywhere.
Yeah, when it comes to us, to answer the first question, no, I do not have kids. But when it comes to giving a solution for families, well, as we mentioned, that we're not giving one solution fits all, and we just help them into selecting those places. So by seeing these videos, seeing the atmosphere, for example, in that specific restaurant, he or she could already have some expectations. But the decision of which place to go would remain strongly to the user, because we would not say, but this is the place you have to go, because maybe you expect something else than I do.
We have a label recommended for family with kids. We have the label on the games, or a red dot, not recommended below 18 years old or something like that.
Kid-friendly.
Kid-friendly, dog-friendly. So we have different labels that help players to understand if the experience is fit for them or not. And we plan to improve this part of recommendations in the future, making and offering tailored experiences for you. Basically, if you are interested in architecture, okay, let's have that first, not random stuff, parks or other things.
It's usually the more you get to know the user, the more you see his patterns, his interests, it's easier for you to make similar recommendations in the future, taking into consideration what his or her previous choices were.
So that's exactly what we spoke about, right? So travel is such a complicated space. Traveling with kids is one thing, traveling with the elderly is another thing. Which I think is the next level of different. They all want different things, right? Especially when you organize a group travel, even let's say a honeymoon trip will be totally different from the other one. And then you need to layer on top the budget requirements, layer on top is it a familiar destination you have been to before? Layer on top how far is it from your place to how do you travel? Because bringing kids or elderly to the plane may not be as easy as traveling alone, right? So all the complication is what we spoke about, why travel is so hard to really innovate something here, because everyone wants different things. We can't really have one solution fit all, right? Cool, so because of this, AI can help a lot, for sure. So let's switch gear a little bit to the technology side as a last leg of this panel discussion. So Victor and Claudiu, can you tell me from your perspective that how emerging technologies such as AI are helping you to do things that's impossible to do before, but much better now?
The most important part is translation and localization for us at this moment. So with the help of AI,
right.
now the creator can easily localize the content in different languages. And yeah, it's very, very, very helpful. But we encourage our creators to use AI to accelerate the content creation. I think it's important to play with all the tools and master them, understand how we can use them in our favor, not fight against the tools. We will not win the battle. We need to understand how to use the tools, how to use technology to create more value. And as we start embracing sooner, then easier for us will be in the future. So the content creator, of course, they can create assets, can create text, can improve the story, can do the typos. You know, if you have travelers from France and you put a different accent in the content, they will give 1-star review for bad language.
Right.
Yeah,
So, you
all
touch
these things you can have an assistant that can review the content that you put it there as a creator. You can have an assistant that can help you to localize the content and so on.
You touched a very important point here that many companies are trying to use AI to push new AI features to travelers, right? Oh, here's a new thing, a new button you can create, bring out a totally new interface to do totally different things you are used to. But do travelers want that? The experience we have optimized for ages, doesn't matter from UI perspective, from UX perspective, has been optimized ages, right? Do we really need a new interface? Sometimes we can argue may not, right? We can have the technology underneath the existing experience.
Exactly. The technology should work behind, so it should not be in front, basically seeing there how the prompt is created. You are in Rome and you want to do something for 2 hours. You are in the, I don't know, Piazza di Spagna, and let's give something there and that's it, not overcomplicating things. Of course, I expect to have an overload of content because it's easier to create content, but not that quality content. So the technology should work, the humans should work with technology. The best results will be human plus AI, because we need still to curate the content. We need still to challenge a bit the AI to give the results that we needed, not just first idea comes there and drop it to someone, the players or the user will read it, doesn't feel nothing, and will consider the experience is poor.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the like very short-term risk, having a lot of bad content, having a lot of average stuff that not make people feeling exciting and of your product. So you need to go 1, 2, 3 steps forward, bring human variability
into the equation.
Exactly,
yeah.
Human intuition, big human creativity, and use the tools to improve and scale.
Thank you. Yes.
Further.
I completely agree with what was just said. I mean, technology is there, it's always improving the processes, helping us save time, automate some processes. What we are using is for internal calculations when we need to, provide the quickest and the smartest route to include all those attractions. But at the same time, as was previously mentioned, it should be a combination, because if we would just try to, offer only an AI assistant, it would result in the same products which are seeing over and over again.
Yeah, you can't show the route easy unless you use composable UI. You can't show the route easily in the chat interface, right?
True. And then you would rely mostly on text. However, at the same time, if you would only provide that, it would be just another interface of ChatGPT. Because
exactly.
Mostly,
and why would they use it, right? You don't even have. They have much more proprietary data from their day-to-day user preference. Like
Yes.
why would I use switch from ChatGPT to a specific travel?
I mean, there are advantages. Of course, these languages could be learned in a way of making better suggestions in the future, helping you maybe when you have that AI assistance, which we also want to have in the future. But that would not only be the sole focus; it would be there as a helper to sort of get your ideas and your interests. But then you would still be the one deciding on what to do. So it's a combination of both. Using the technology, staying ahead, being ahead of the time, but then not neglecting the human factor. Because if we think about other big businesses, even like TripAdvisor, why is it still relevant if we have, ChatGPT, Gemini, and so on? Because there is the human factor. It's like other people who've been there, they're sharing their own opinions, and it's just the reality that sometimes we believe more into humans than into robots or into such solutions. So I think in the future it would be both a combination of those, but we cannot truly or 100% neglect the human factor and the interaction.
One more thing, because we are very late with the timing. It's also important as a founders, as a operators, as a creators of products, to build defensibility against AI, against copycats. So for us, we have more than 70,000 locations in the world with challenges from the real world, with puzzles from the real world, something that is extremely complicated to be copied.
That's your mode, basically.
This is our mode, and we continue to expand that, not, having a wrapper AI that can do different stuff. So look to solve hard problems, because there will be your competitive advantage, and for anyone will be hard to copy your product or business or so.
100%.
And the last thing, build community. Also, community cannot be replicated by AI.
Cool. And so we're out of time, so we'll end here. But Claudiu will have a later presentation about, right?
So after the lunch, I will expect everyone here to talk about why is it hard to build startups. I will have a 10-minute session. And also tomorrow at 11, we will organize a brunch for startup founders. Some VCs, let me know they will attend to this meetup. So go to Brela. Check the link for registration for the event, for the brunch tomorrow. Will be a brunch for founders, so we'll talk, work, not eating. And 11 o'clock Inception is the location, and see you back here after the lunch for the very interesting question. Why is it hard to build startups?
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.